States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our first order on the agenda is public comment on the agenda items. Is there any comments about the agenda? Yes, ma'am.
Can you state your name just because we're taking a record?
I'm sorry, it's Judy. Can you spell it? G-E-R-I-T. I live beside the house that he's asking for that. It was a problem that piece of ground. It was not able to be put a house on it until the water came up. Bill bought the property. It is steep and it is narrow. I figured anybody could put anything on there that didn't look like a house trailer. Bill did go to a lot of trouble to make a house that looks good on the property, and he has taken very good care of it. I commend him for that, but there are rules made for reasons. Just because we buy property that is a problem property, do we automatically get to change the rule? I don't know. That's what I'm here to find out.
All right. Thank you. Any other comments about the agenda?
This is a
Okay.
fantastic packet when we put this together.
That was Owen, yeah.
Owen. Thank you, Owen. Okay, we have to do a little administrative before we get on to this. We have to appoint officers for the zoning hearing board for 2026. That says something that we haven't met this year. So I will make a motion that we continue the officers from the 2025 zoning hearing board through 2026. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. I will turn the next item over to Attorney Hancher to carry forward.
Sure. So this is the time that we have set and publicized for a hearing on the application for a variance submitted by Local Roots Landscaping on behalf of William Bomberger. We'll give this. Pursuant to the application for variance that was submitted to the township on July 21st, 2026, the property involved in this application is identified as 1143 Camp Run Road, parcel number 200 S2A15. William Bomberger is the record owner of the property. It is situate in the R2 medium density residential zoning district. Notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the municipality's planning code and the Lancaster Township ordinance. The Township zoning officer has provided the board with the various exhibits evidencing the notice and compliance. The applicant is requesting relief from the ordinance section 300-18E with various subsections, which establishes a rear yard setback of 35 feet. The applicant here is requesting a variance to build an upper level living space that encroaches 20 feet into that rear yard setback. So at this point, I'd ask anyone that intends to present testimony regarding this variance hearing to please raise their right hand, and I'd ask Jane, if you don't mind, to swear you in. So anybody that intends to testify or speak should go ahead and raise their right hand. Yep.
You want to swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God.
At this time, I would turn it over to the Township zoning officer, Owen. Do you want to give any background or insight from your perspective as a zoning officer on this variance request?
Do you want me to run through the exhibits?
You could go ahead and just articulate what the exhibits are, and we'll have that on the record then.
So I'm Owen Pellet, and I handle Lancaster zoning. I handed out packets, including one to the applicant and one to more so to just have, be helpful to the board for them to understand what the request is. So what is marked in there is exhibit number 1 is the original zoning hearing board application, which was filed by Local Roots Landscaping on behalf of William Bomberger, who's the property owner, as well as all of the supplemental documentation and the project narrative. That application was dated July 21st, 2026. Exhibit 2 in there is the Butler Eagle applicant's publication of the zoning hearing board notice, as well as a full-size copy of the advertisement that was in the paper, as is required by the MPC. Those publications were performed on July 30th and August 6th. Exhibit 3 in there is a supplemental resident list with my certification mailing for all properties within roughly 200 feet of the subject parcel. That was meant to supplement the original, I think it was 3 properties that were noted on the zoning hearing board application. I added 9 additional properties to that. There's also a copy of the notice of hearing letter that was sent, and those were mailed on July 29th, 2026, again, in compliance with what the MPC says. Exhibit 4 is 4 timestamp photographs of the posting of the hearing notice that I performed on July 30th at both the subject property and the township office, again, in compliance with the timelines that the MPC sets. Exhibits 5 through 9 are various sections of both Lancaster Township zoning code and the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code. So exhibit 5 is Article 9 from the MPC, which sets the zoning hearing board and other administrative proceedings that lays out all of the advertising requirements, as well as the powers and jurisdiction of the zoning hearing board. Exhibit 6 is from Lancaster Township zoning code, chapter 300, article 10. Again, just the zoning hearing board, laying out the processes and jurisdiction of the board. Exhibit 7 is also from the zoning code. It's article 12, which is administration and enforcement, which lays out my powers as a zoning officer, requirements for zoning permits, as well as the fee schedule and payment of fees associated with applying for a hearing from the zoning hearing board. Exhibit 8, also from zoning code chapter 300, is this specific section in question, 300-18, which is from the medium density residential district, which lays out the required rear yard setback, and then obviously what the applicant is asking for, I believe. Exhibit 9 from the same code, article 3 is just highlighted definitions of applicable words that apply to this request, and then exhibit 10 is the sign sheet, which is otherwise door, which we provided at the conclusion of the hearing. As a background, Evan, who is here on behalf of Local Roots Landscaping, he reached out to me about the upcoming project. He already understood that they needed a variance, so there was no formal denial of an application that was submitted. We had a pretty lengthy phone call after he sent me everything and kind of worked through what the process was going to look like. And then they made application. It was a pretty straightforward process. There was no permit that was submitted to me prior to him applying for the variance. And if the board grants it, they would then move to the permitting process afterwards. So if there's any questions for me, I'm willing to answer them, but that's all I have.
At this time, we'll go ahead and turn it over to the applicant or to the contractor, whoever intended to present sort of the background of your request.
Evan Klein? Yeah, K-O-E-I-N. Yeah, on behalf of Local Roots Landscaping, we provided renderings and design construction plans, which I do have here as well. I also have some visual aids, if that's okay, if I kind of distribute.
Sure. We can share them.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Some of them are those, so I won't share those.
And we'll go ahead and just call this Exhibit 11 and enter it in for you.
I have the actual construction plan set here as well. I can print out two copies, but that is available if you would like to review it and things like that. But this was done before the variance process, so obviously we did want to like go through this, but we wanted to have clear path forward once this stuff gets kind of situated.
Okay.
So speaking towards the lay of the land as far as the livable space on site is kind of a tough location as far as like the house was constructed in that flat area. So much of the front yard is kind of that almost 18% slope, 19% slope. That's going to be really tough for any actual usable space to be built on it without extra work. So in that rear on the site survey there, it shows like roughly 45 feet into the backyard from the corner of the house to the pin. And that's where we kind of would like to set up with both close vicinity to the house as well as like livable space. It's roughly flat there. However, the back rear setback is 35 feet. So we really only have 10 feet to play with. And ideally, we're looking for a space that would require 30 foot in depth there, which would play into us requesting today a 15-foot setback as opposed to the 35-foot setback that's currently. Yeah. I hope that helps as far as communicate what we're kind of going through. There's some visual stuff. If you have any questions, anything like that, happy to go straight into those answers as well.
So is Mr. Bill here? Mr. Bill? So one, what your construction plans are is a patio.
Yes.
And there's already an existing barn.
I see that there's the
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a stone patio there right now with walls and what have you, and the footprint and the front part is almost identical to what it is, except that the steep hill that had that landscape, which we need to push back a little bit to complete the hardscape and get rid of the stone.
So my question or concern here is the definition of an accessory building or structure. Is that outdoor living space patio considered a accessory building or structure by the definition?
I would say by definition, no. I think wild card is pool, right?
I'm sorry, can you
There's, I said by definition, no. But I think the wild card is there's a pool in the structure, which is at the very end of the layout. And I think a pool does become an accessory structure.
Oh, this is
That's a pool, yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're right. If it was just a patio,
Sorry.
the conversation's done. But because of the pool,
It's a wave pool, so it's not any sort of full tilt.
I'm sorry.
It's not a wave pool.
And guys, everyone, we're taking a record, so we all have to talk one at a time, and everyone needs to talk. I can't hear you, so if you're gonna speak, speak up.
So the one survey overlay says new home. And there's an existing structure there. Are you gonna tear that home down?
No, there's nothing there.
That's the home as it exists.
Because it says existing aerial view, that it shows a home there.
That's that. I think this is just,
Yeah,
So
not a new home.
as this shows today on Google Maps, this is the current child. And when was this constructed?
2020.
2020.
And Bill, you built the home?
Yes.
So this elevation, is this a current elevation map, or is this from when the house was built in 2020?
Well, that was the survey from Northern Surveyors that was done.
Before the house
Yes.
was built. So this is not accurate as today, because you have a retaining wall along your
That's
driveway.
right. That's right. There's a paved driveway that goes up to the level where the home is.
So well, I mean, it's been
Yeah,
landscape.
graded in landscape.
Yeah, that's
There's
not,
not a wall.
that steepness is not reflected from what is here. You pushed to create a flatter front yard and increase the steepness up against the road, correct? I'm not putting words.
Correct. Nothing along the edge of the road changed, but we had to cut in the driveway and open up that area, and then in turn, sort of level out the front yard, which I ended up, I now know what I have to do.
Hey, Bill, by chance, I know it's none other than you, Judy. I think you said you were a former neighbor? Okay, and I'm sorry, sir, you were Judy or? Okay.
Across the street.
Okay, so you're on the other side of this? Okay. But in terms of, a moment there. So anybody from the Ashton family, the Wood family, the Theart family, or the Reno family is not here?
Correct.
Okay, 'cause those are the four abutting properties that would be affected most visually by what you want to do. Do you have any type of affidavit or anything from those property owners saying that they're neutral, they're okay, they don't support what you want to do?
I'm not any absolute affidavit. I'm friends with them all.
Yeah.
Know what happened. I've told them, like, I'm gonna actually move some shrubs that my dad left with Bruce is right behind me. He said, yeah, feel free to put your shrubs there while you can do that.
Okay.
But once again, nothing's really going to change their view at all.
Sure.
I already have.
Now, it does say in part of the documentation too about a screening planting. Can you elaborate on what that would look like?
Yeah, so because the existing patio is roughly that 10 to 15 foot, and then a sloped hillside
Yep.
planted, we still wanted to retain much of the planting screen on the outside. So when we're pushing back the hardscape patio, pool, and wall there, we're still hoping to plant on the top half of that to leave that planting screen outside of maybe that 15-foot setback.
Okay, so you're gonna level out about 32 feet, you get patio, pool, retaining wall, and then a little slope up to the property line,
Planting,
and then
but
planting.
not the full way to the property line, probably 8 to 10 feet past the retaining wall.
Okay, so the retaining wall itself would be about 32 feet from the house.
28.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then a little bit of grading
Yeah.
up to the property line, and then you're screening in that area?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, like that 8 to 10 after is just gonna be new planting.
okay, and how high?
4 foot.
Okay.
I'm still confused, because it says in the application, he's building an upper story.
Right, that's what I was, that's clarification as well.
That's why
Upper
it's
story, like a second story on the house.
Yeah.
If he's putting an addition on the house, is what it says.
This was the letter that went to the budding property owners, and actually is a better description than what's in the application in terms of what's going on.
Why don't you tell us, the applicant, tell us exactly what the construction is? Because I'm confused too. So I'll let you tell us what it is.
It's going to be a hardscape patio, exactly where the stone patio is now, with the same steps that come down from the upper yard and then go on down to the right, which is existing now. It's just all going to be commercial hardscape.
Okay.
And once again, it's not a swimming pool or you don't jump in or anything. It's essentially like a wave pool.
Unfortunately, the ordinances don't differentiate. A pool is a pool, if it's on the ground, so
And it's
it still becomes an accessory structure, and that's really where the variance comes in. If it was just a patio with no pool, our conversation would be over.
Gotcha.
But because of the pool, makes it a little bit different
Right.
conversation.
If I initially would say living area and something about a second
Yeah.
structure, I think that had to do with
Matter of fact, if you put the pool closer to the house, the variance request would be less, for what it's worth. On the, I'm just curious, on the diagram you provided us, where the sidewalk wraps around the house,
Yes.
is that just pavers? Like, what is this box? Is that like a step, a stoop, or
This may be the equipment pad for the
this here?
pool. Yeah, equipment pad for the pool.
Got it, okay.
So, yeah, and then everything else is flush to the ground, just paving at basically
But
the
this-
driveway side.
But this is all patio and then a cement pad for the equipment.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure there wasn't a variance issue here either.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I have a few additional questions. So a dimensional variance, which is what is being sought here, can be granted if certain hardships and elements are met, and that's what the board uses in their determination as to whether to grant or deny a variance request. One of the main components in that consideration is the unique physical circumstances of a piece of property. Do you know the acreage of your tract, Mr. Bomberger? Okay, and did you subdivide it, or was it this parcel existed the way it is when you bought it, correct? It was that way. Articulate for me, so I have it on the record, or if you would like your agent, if you want Evan to speak, tell us in more detail about the topographical issues or the shape of the lot. I know we have drawings, but it helps to have it articulated also.
Yeah, so directly off Campground Road, it is gonna be a really steep slope there as far as directly off the roadway. And then it becomes less steep, it's still in that 18 to 20% slope up to the front, second floor of the house, essentially. The roadway was constructed as the driveway up to the lower portion of the house. From there, we're hoping to have the 6 steps roughly that go up to the back portion of the yard. And that's where the existing patio flagstone material is presently set. That's where we would be expanding, pushing it out further from the house in the rear. And making that roughly a 30 by 30 patio, which encompasses essentially the stairs, the patio, the plunge pool, roughly 7 by 13, and the steps that go up to that second level of the yard there that houses the roughly 4 by 6 equipment pad and the walkway that goes over to maybe 3 steps up to where a second door is going into the house there as well. That would kind of have access out to the walkway and down to the rear patio section. Does that help?
Is there a rationale or reason for the size of the patio or the size of the footprint? We know we've made comment that the pool itself is sort of the issue with the variance here. Is there any flexibility in the construction plans as far as the size of this? Size of the patio, essentially, that is dictating the size of the variance. I mean, you're asking to go 20 feet into the rear yard. Is there any flexibility on that?
It would be nice if the pool was not in like the shadow of the house, which is why we kind of wanted it pushed off the house a little as well, just so that it could get more sun. Once we're in that, ideally we have the staircases like kind of accounted for, as well as still an entertainment space where you can kind of sit and before the pool as well. So that's why we kind of pushed it on the wall side of the patio as opposed to the outside of the patio, so that it could get a little bit more sun inside of the pool.
What are the dimensions of the pool?
Interior 7 by 13. So it is
How deep will this pool be?
it
It was in a wading pool.
4'6". Yeah. I do know some,
The last question I have is, if the variance would be granted, what's your plan for construction? When would you start and how long would it take to complete?
So I think we have time. Actually, to be upset if I can get any sort of timelines, but either way, I think we do have a crew that is ready to begin when this kind of starts to December of last year. So once we were like finalizing everything, starting in roughly May, we've like begun to bookmark this on the line. Now, complete construction of the project, I feel like if we get planting by spring is the ideal kind of like last step. So I think by April.
If the variance is granted and you have a year to complete, is it reasonable that you will be able to complete it? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Do you have a sense of what the elevation difference is between, say, like the level of the patio and the top of the hill where the property line is?
The main patio where the pool
Yeah,
is sitting
yeah.
up to the top of the wall.
Yeah, I'm trying to visualize the property, and I get the sense that you've got a little bit of patio now, and then it slopes up towards the property line, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so where the new patio is going to be, do you have a sense of how much that rises to the top of right to the boundary line?
I know the retaining wall itself pushed off the house kind of steps up a little bit as it goes.
Okay.
But maintain at the most, I think it's 4.6, but that's with the step up of the wall. So I would imagine from the patio space at the front of the property, like near the garage side of the driveway, to the top of the wall on the back corner near, I think on the survey, it's the sketch of the new.
This will be about 6 feet. It looks to be about 6 feet elevation rise.
Yeah, that should be like, I was gonna say like 56, but yeah, 6 feet maybe at that extent.
Right, because I'm
Sorry.
6'4", when we stand there and talk about where it is, it's just about my height.
Yeah.
And all this area we're talking about, I believe, for the variance, it's already, I don't wanna say heavily landscape, it's all mulched now.
Sure.
With decorative boulders and what have you, so basically, staying in that area, we're just doing hardscape.
So you're gonna dig it all out to make it level.
Yeah.
And then back to the landscape screening, will that be contiguous? Or, will it be like evergreens creating a fence or just spotty?
No, it would be continuous. So there's mixed evergreens, perennials, and shrubs kind of all going in.
Okay.
But I think there is going to be no flowering trees. I don't believe, but just kind of shrubs, perennials, evergreens mixed in just as much, so that we can still get as much multi-interest or multi-season interest there.
Will this pool be enclosed in some way? The people who bought the property where I live have a new baby. The new baby isn't gonna get into anything this year. 2-3 years down the road, is there any chance that you could ever get in the pool run?
It is a cover.
What?
It has a heavy duty cover,
Okay.
which will always be,
Just a cover. Okay.
yes.
Would you put the cover on? I say aluminum cover? Aluminum. Oh, aluminum cover.
You have to keep it covered up. Anytime you uncover it, I would actually be there.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna talk over this HVAC here now. So Mr. Bill, one of the reoccurring themes we see here is definition of hardship, or the existence of hardship for a variance. So I'm looking here on Google Maps, Street View, at 143 Camp before your house was built.
That's correct.
So I'm looking at the current or the previous condition of this lot. I'm looking at this topographical map. I personally struggle, and I agree with there are rules for a reason here, George. I recently have built a house, and if I tried to put something behind my house now and said, oh shucks, I don't have enough space, I personally do not believe that is a hardship for me. I chose where to put the house. You clearly have developed this land to put your house on. Looking at the topographical map, I'm seeing there's what's that? However much distance there is back measured out here from the back of your current house to where your proposed patio goes. If I move that exact same distance forward, that is 4 feet. 4 feet of elevation drop from where the current house is. So again, not an architect, I wasn't there, I'm looking at it now. I can see this, that there was not a hardship to move the house 35 feet forward and drop it 2 to 4 feet in the overall, and then we wouldn't be having this conversation at all. So going by the books, and I understand that your area is completely landscaped and it is being used, and as Mr. Craig said, that if it wasn't for that plunge pool, this wouldn't be a conversation. But the argument of hardship based off of choosing to put the house there and then after the fact going, I need something else, that is something that I personally struggle with on the, not a personal thing at all, just my job is to interpret the rules. And I look at that and go, I have a hard time defining hardship within there. So if you could potentially help me and the board out with a better or a justification for the hardship. We've had people that, hey, bought a piece of property, and yeah, I get it. They want to push their house far off the road as possible. I can see here on the rest of the street view as well that your house is clearly further back than all the rest of the houses that are also on Camp Run. I understand that, and now here's the scenario. This is a byproduct of that. So if you have a hardship justification, please.
Nothing more really, except that I know my builder, I know they followed all the various footage to the guideline. And I believe the lake, the driveway, and the size of the house and the way it was designed to fit on that piece of property that's the reason it was leveled out right there to fit there. And right now it works perfect. I appreciate Judy complimenting on taking care of it because it really is a sweet house and a sweet piece of property. And it works really well exactly where it sits. And it's kind of funny, my neighbor below me said, I have to admit, they said, there was no house there, all our basements flooded. They said, when you built your house, they said our basements flooded.
It stops.
Because we did
The irrigation.
nice, fenestrated area and what have you. And nothing more than I love my little stone patio, but I had my little woodworker out there, but I decided I wanted something to sort of add to the modernist needs of the house. And I'm not even a pool person, but I thought it would be nice to have that. For my friends and my girlfriend, and your kids and what have you. So, yeah, that's a lot. I know my neighbor Bruce behind me, like he has a huge shed. It's actually building, which is right on the property line. That didn't bother me at all, it still doesn't. We talked about the fact that he probably either did that years ago, maybe decades ago, when there either wasn't a rule or whatever, and it doesn't even. There are some plants, dead plants in the back of the piece of house. And even when I'm done with this, I saw a very large swath of grass, I'll be able to mow and everything like that, because I mow right to my fence and all my neighbors.
So is a hot tub considered a pool?
I don't think a hot tub is considered a permanent structure.
It's not a permanent structure.
Maybe if you build a deck around it, I don't know, off the top.
Generally has to be attached to the ground before it's a permanent structure.
Right, that's what,
So hot tub sitting on
you're
the
looking for an actual built, this is gonna be a physical in-ground plunge pool. So,
It's not, it's a concrete.
I'm trying to.
I said, so I'm not gonna hold the water feature, you're not
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
Just to respond to that, the definition of a structure, I didn't highlight it because I only highlighted accessory structure or building. The definition of a structure says whether or not affixed to the land.
Whether or not, I'm sorry.
Sorry, whether or not affixed to the land. So even if it's not on a permanent foundation, it is technically still a structure. So if somebody puts a shed in, it's technically still a structure, even if it's not permanent foundation. So a hot tub would technically still be a structure.
Interesting. Did not know that.
So I have a question for everybody who's at it. The variance requested is not until what is needed to finish, right? It's a variance, it's beyond that, because once we're done, the landscaping part of that will come back up, it won't be as large as the variance, or am I wrong, I'm not sure.
The landscaping would take place beyond the hardscape, the wall. That would be fine under the accessory structure of the landscape, essentially.
That should be fine.
I can plant a shrub right against the property line, put a rock there.
Then you are the resident there.
Yes.
That's your residence. And I have to apologize to everyone because I couldn't hear everything that was going on with the noise from the air conditioner. I had a general question. Why weren't the Gerwigs and Renos listed on the names of the people that were within 200 feet or adjoining the property?
Well, Judy's house is sold out to my new neighbor.
You're not there.
Yeah. And I'm friends with them, they did just have a baby, I'm friends with them,
George, there's a supplement document that we did
There
out
is.
where they were contacted subsequent to the.
I didn't get that.
Right. Yeah, and I'm friends with those people, they know I'm doing it, the Renos are very good friends with Mark, and their house is for sale, in fact. But I believe they're showing me 3 properties that should be affected by this, which would be Jacob's down below, Ruth's right behind me, and Sierra and Rob right next to me.
Stanton may get more runoff. I don't know how the ground lays up there, but will they get more runoff than this?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
Mike, I mean, just my opinion here on this board, I have enough that I'm ready to go back and talk about this at any time, whenever everyone's done with their questions. They laid it out very nicely, we have all the information I think we need. So whenever you guys are good, ready to go discuss it.
Okay, so it's 6:35. We're gonna move into executive session. We deliberate and then we come back into the open meeting and vote after we've deliberated. So we're gonna take a break.
Very well done.